I first realized something was wrong when our family doctor, Dr. Martin, started visiting unexpectedly. He had been our doctor for years, but suddenly he was coming by every few days, always when my husband, Marcus, was at work. My mother-in-law, Eleanor, would greet him with fake concern. "Amanda, dear, Dr. Martin is just here to check on you," she would say sweetly. "We're also worried about your episodes." Episodes. That's what they called it whenever I questioned Marcus's late nights, expensive gifts, or the lipstick stains on his shirts. My name is Sarah Mitchell. At 35, I discovered that my husband was trying to have me declared mentally unstable, not because I was sick, but because he wanted me out of the way. It all started 3 months ago when I asked Marcus about a hotel charge on our credit card. Instead of denying it, he called his mother. The next day, Eleanor moved in, saying, "Just until you're feeling better." Soon my sister-in-law, Kate, started visiting daily, acting worried and spreading rumors about my behavior. I might have believed them if I hadn't overheard a conversation in the garden. Kate was saying, "The resort is booked for June. Jessica is so excited about the wedding. We just need to take care of Amanda before then." Jessica, Marcus's young assistant, the one who sent him messages late at night. Eleanor replied, "Dr. Martin is waiting for the right moment. One more outburst, and he'll have enough to sign the papers. Marcus will get guardianship, and by the time Amanda can fight back, it'll be too late." I froze, realizing their plan. Marcus wanted me declared mentally ill so he could marry Jessica without a messy divorce. Eleanor had never liked me. She thought I was too old and too independent. After that, I noticed everything. The bitter taste in my food, probably from the vitamins Eleanor gave me, the way they tracked my every move, how Marcus would start fights and secretly record me. But I wasn't going to let them win. As a pharmaceutical sales representative, I knew about medications. I stopped taking their vitamins and pretended not to notice their tricks. I recorded their conversations, set up hidden cameras, and found a real psychiatrist, Dr. Chen, to back me up. Then, I found wedding invitation samples in Kate's purse, dated June 15th. They were running out of patience. One day, Eleanor called out, "Amanda, Dr. Martin is here again." I looked in the mirror, making sure I appeared calm and collected. It was time to let them think their plan was working. In the living room, Eleanor, Kate, and Dr. Martin sat waiting. Eleanor held the tissue, pretending to be sad. "Amanda, please sit down," Dr. Martin said. I did, keeping my hands folded in my lap. Through the window, I saw Marcus pulling into the driveway, right on time. Eleanor sighed. "We're doing this because we love you. We've noticed such alarming changes in your behavior." Kate added, "The paranoia, the mood swings, the obsessive cleaning." Dr. Martin nodded, ready to write something down. "It might be best if you spent some time in a facility." I smiled. For the first time, Eleanor looked nervous. They expected me to cry, to argue, to prove their point. Instead, I stayed calm. "I see," I said. "And when were you planning to tell me about the wedding?" The room fell silent. Marcus stiffened. "What wedding?" I turned to Kate. "The invitations in your purse are beautiful. Blushed pink suits, Jessica, don't you think?" Eleanor's grip on my hand tightened. "Dr. Martin, you see, she's going through Kate's things. This paranoia is getting worse." I pulled my hand away. "Actually, Dr. Martin, I think you should see what I have to show you." They didn't know it yet, but their plan was about to fall apart. I had proof, the fake medical records, the drugs, the secret wedding plans. Most importantly, I had witnesses. They thought I was their victim. They were wrong. Before we continue, I said, taking out my phone, we should wait for one more person. Right on cue, the doorbell rang. Eleanor stiffened, her fake concern replaced by real worry. Before anyone could react, I stood up. "I'll get it," I said, smiling. "She's my guest." At the door stood Dr. Lisa Barrett, a respected forensic psychiatrist. For the past month, she had been evaluating me, gathering proof that I was perfectly sane. "Dr. Martin," she said coolly as she stepped inside, "I'm surprised to see you here, considering the ethics complaint I filed against you this morning." Dr. Martin paled. He knew what that meant. His involvement in my family's scheme could cost him his medical license. Marcus stepped forward. "What is this, Amanda?" I sat down, feeling calmer than I had in months. "Let's talk about the medications Eleanor's been mixing into my food." That's ridiculous. Eleanor snapped, but her hands trembled as she clutched her tissue. Dr. Barrett set down her briefcase. Actually, lab tests confirmed that food from this house contained substances known to cause anxiety and confusion. Care to explain, Dr. Martin? Kate jumped up, her face red. See, this is what we mean. She's acting paranoid, collecting food samples. We also have this, I said, holding up my tablet. I pressed play. Eleanor's voice filled the room. Once she's committed, Marcus can file for emergency custody. The lawyers say he'll be able to handle all the property matters without her consent. Marcus lunged for the tablet, but I didn't flinch. That's just a copy. The originals are already with the authorities, along with the wedding invitations and your prenuptial agreement with Jessica. The room erupted into chaos. Eleanor sobbed, real tears this time. Kate shouted about privacy. Dr. Martin looked ready to disappear. Marcus just stared at me. How long have you known? About Jessica? From the start. About your plan to have me committed. Long enough to build an airtight case. I turned to Dr. Barrett. Would you say I seem mentally unstable? Not at all, she replied. In fact, you've remained remarkably clear-headed, despite their efforts to manipulate you. Eleanor made one last attempt. She's tricked you. She's hiding her symptoms. You mean the ones you tried to create with unprescribed drugs? I asked. Our security cameras caught you tampering with my food. The police are very interested in that footage. The word police hit them like a slap. Marcus collapsed into a chair, pale. The police are involved. Falsely committing someone is a serious crime, Dr. Barrett said, as is drugging them and trying to take control of their assets. I stood smoothing my slacks. Divorce papers will be delivered tomorrow, and I've filed a restraining order against all of you. I turned to Eleanor. You should start packing. I want you out of my house within the hour. Eleanor scoffed. This house belongs to the family. Check the deed, I said. Marcus signed it over to me last year to avoid tax issues. One of the few times his shady accounting worked in my favor. Kate opened her mouth, but Marcus stopped her. He knew I was right. What do you want? He asked quietly. I want you to leave, I said simply. The police will be here soon, and I'm sure you'll want to call your lawyers first. They fled. Eleanor and Kate nearly tripped over each other. Dr. Martin mumbled about another appointment and rushed out. Marcus lingered at the door. I never thought you'd figure it out, he admitted. You always seemed so trusting? Naive? I finished. That worked in my favor. While you were busy underestimating me, I was documenting everything. After they left, Dr. Barrett helped me gather the last bits of evidence, more drugs hidden in the kitchen, notebooks full of their fake reports about me. Are you sure you want to press charges? She asked. You could just divorce him and move on. I thought about the fear they tried to instill in me, the way they tried to make me doubt my own mind. They need to face consequences, I said, not just for me, but so they never do this to anyone else. As I walked Dr. Barrett out, I caught my reflection in the window. I looked stronger. They had tried to break me, but instead, they had only proven how capable I really was. For the first time in months, the house was quiet, a peaceful quiet, the kind that comes from taking back control of your own story. 3 months after that confrontation, I sat in my lawyer's office reviewing the final divorce settlement. Marcus had tried to fight it at first, but the evidence was overwhelming. Between the recordings, the documented attempts to drug me, and Dr. Martin's eventual confession, he had no choice but to agree to my terms. Everything's been transferred to your name, my lawyer confirmed, sliding the papers across her desk. The house, your joint investments, and half of all marital assets. Plus, the restraining orders against Marcus, Eleanor, and Kate remain in effect. I signed where indicated, each signature feeling like another step toward freedom. What happened with Dr. Martin's medical license? Suspended pending further investigation. The medical board was particularly interested in Eleanor's admission that she'd been getting prescription medications from him to spike your food. The criminal charges had shocked our social circle. Eleanor's country club friends suddenly couldn't remember her name. Kate's wedding planning business lost most of its clients. Apparently, people were hesitant to trust someone who'd helped plot a false psychiatric commitment. As for Jessica, Marcus's young assistant turned would-be bride, she'd abandoned him the moment she realized there would be no luxury lifestyle waiting for her. Last I heard, she'd taken a job in another state, desperate to escape the scandal. I left my lawyer's office and drove to my favorite cafe, where my friend Beth was waiting. She'd been my rock throughout this ordeal, helping me gather evidence and keeping me sane when I doubted myself. "So it's really over," she said as I sat down. "How does it feel?" I thought about it as I stirred my coffee. Liberating. But also sad, in a way. Not because I miss them, but because I can't believe they thought so little of me that they believed their plan would work. "Their biggest mistake was underestimating you," Beth said firmly. "They saw what they wanted to see, the quiet, accommodating wife who would never fight back." She was right. For years I played that role, smoothing over conflicts and keeping the peace. Even when I first suspected Marcus's affair, I tried to fix things quietly. That's what they counted on, my tendency to avoid confrontation. "Did you hear about Eleanor?" Beth asked, lowering her voice. "She tried to join the hospital board last week. They turned her down flat. Apparently, conspiring to have someone falsely committed doesn't look good on a resume." I couldn't help but laugh. Eleanor had always been so proud of her social standing, her committee memberships, her position in society. Now she was experiencing what it felt like to be an outsider. Marcus wasn't faring much better. His law firm had asked him to take an indefinite leave of absence once the story broke. No one wanted a lawyer who had conspired to have his wife committed for convenience. "The house feels different now," I told Beth. "Peaceful. I repainted everything, rearranged the furniture. It finally feels like mine. And the new security system probably helps," she added with a grin. I smiled, thinking of the state-of-the-art cameras and alarms I had installed. Not because I was afraid, but because I'd learned the value of protecting what was mine. That evening I walked through my house, appreciating the quiet. The guest room where Eleanor had stayed was now my home office. Kate's favorite snooping spot in the garden had been replanted with roses. Every space they had tainted had been reclaimed and renewed. My phone buzzed with a text from Dr. Barrett. "Thought you'd want to know. The medical board's investigation is expanding. Looks like you weren't Dr. Martin's first convenient diagnosis." I wasn't surprised. People like them rarely tried something like this just once. But I had stopped their pattern, not just for myself, but for anyone else they might have targeted. As I got ready for bed, I caught myself smiling at my reflection. The woman in the mirror looked nothing like the one they had tried to paint as unstable. She was strong, confident, and utterly sane. Perhaps the sanest person in that whole situation. A year ago, I would have been devastated by their betrayal. But now I realized it had given me something valuable. The knowledge that I was stronger than anyone, including myself, had believed. I picked up my journal, a real one this time, not the fake symptom diary they had wanted me to keep, and wrote one final entry about the experience. They thought they could break me by making me doubt my own mind. Instead, they showed me exactly how strong it is. Sometimes the people who try to tear you down end up revealing just how unbreakable you truly are. The doorbell rang, pulling me from my thoughts. Through the security camera, I saw Beth holding up takeout bags and wine. A regular girls' night, something Eleanor had always disapproved of. I smiled and went to let her in. Life wasn't just back to normal, it was better than normal. I was free, strong, and surrounded by people who actually cared about me. Sometimes losing a toxic family is the healthiest thing that can happen to you. And the best revenge, living well, knowing they have to live with the consequences of their own actions.